The last time I tested a Trasped RC car, well, it was kind of Now everybody knows I'm a huge fan of cheap RC cars, and some are great for the money, like the high boxing range and the MJX range, but some are just not worth the money, even if they are super cheap. And testing out my very first Trasped RC car, well, I kind of got that impression. Now this is brand new from them. This is their Toyota 4Runner. Now admittedly, it does look really cool. It also features some really nice stuff, but is it actually going to perform well? Now let's talk about size then, because this is 1/18 scale. It features a portable blocks battery pack, a big torsion gearbox, and an integrated circuit. But I think my favourite feature on this truck is the big torsion treasure chest. I'm not sure what's going on here, everything seems to be backwards. And one final thing, I don't think this is fully licensed by Toyota. We won't talk about that. So in the box, of course, we have the truck itself. Now you will need to apply the decals. They don't come pre-applied. And as you can see, I have already done that. Here we have the 600 milliamp hour lithium ion battery, and you can charge that up using a USB-C cable, which they do include in the box. We also get a parts bag, which features a cross wrench, a screwdriver, and some Allen keys. Finally, we have the manual, which looks extremely complicated, but I think the only bit you're going to need is this bit here, because it tells you about all the features. Finally, moving on to the transmitter. Now we do get a foam grip on the wheel. That feels quite nice actually. Now up on top we've got a lot of dip switches and buttons. Obviously these control all the different features included on this truck, and once again they are all outlined in the manual. Now I don't want this video to go on for too long, so I'm not going to test out all of the features, but I'm going to test out the main ones. Now I do have to say this does feel incredibly cheap. I'm not a massive fan of how it feels. I don't know, I just don't like this. So back to the truck then. Now of course this is based on the Toyota 4Runner, and this does feature some really cool scale details. I do believe all of the doors open. Under there we have the ESC, or should I say big circuit board, or whatever it was they called it. I do really like the fact that you can open up all the doors on this. I think that does look really cool. We also have a roof rack up on top, moulded wing mirrors which you will need to screw on. At the back we have the smoke emitter, which I'm not going to be testing today, and this is also where the battery plugs in. I don't know, this is kind of a weird design, and this is the same as the other one I tested. Inside we have a full interior, and I do believe the dashboard lights up. So let's have a quick look at the chassis features, and then of course we're going to give this a run. Now this does have friction shocks, which are horrible. Just look at that. That is terrible. It's pretty much the same story on the rear, although there is a little bit of rebound. The tyres feel incredibly firm. I can't see them gripping very well. So underneath we have a 4-link suspension setup. Down there it does look like we've got metal drive shafts at the front and rear, although these ones are plastic. Now one of the cool features on this is it does feature 4-wheel steer. As you can see, there is a servo control in the front and the back. Now this car is fully loaded for the price, but I can't help but think, once again, it's not really going to perform. Now how can I make an assumption that this isn't going to perform well if I haven't actually tested it yet? Well, take a look at this. There's hardly any ground clearance. Let's get the battery in it, let's fire it up, and let's see if it is actually any good. But before we do that, I do want to say a massive thank you once again to everyone who supports my channel on Raffle. I was a bit unsure at first, but Raffle now seems like the best way to give you guys a chance to support the channel, and at the same time, you may win an RC car. And at the minute, I'm even giving one of you the chance to win a brand new free RC car. Now, if you haven't already entered to win that, I will leave a link down below so you can head over to Raffle and check it out. This is the perfect opportunity for me to give back to you and to say thank you for supporting them. Let's switch on this horrible transmitter. And slide in the battery. Right, I've got it powered on. Let's take a quick look at the LED lights. There we go. I'm not sure how they're going to show up on the camera. Probably not very well at all. It does look like we've got indicators, and of course we've got brake lights and reversing lights. Now let's have a look at some of the steering modes on this. There we have front wheel steer. There we have 4-wheel steer, that's quite cool. There we have crab steer. This also has rear wheel steer. I'm not sure how useful that would be. So how fast does it actually go? Well, that is top speed. That is really slow. Right, so let's give this a very quick off-road test. I don't think it's going to do any good, but it may surprise me. Let's just have a look. Now, I've already noticed there is hardly any power. That is full throttle. It's even struggling on these small rocks. Oh, this isn't very good, is it, really? Maybe these rocks are too demanding. Let's move over to the dirt and see if that makes any difference. So over here on the dirt, it's not much better really. This is what's known as a crap RC car. Oh, stuck again. I kind of guessed this was going to perform really badly, and I can think of better ways to spend £57. Maybe slightly more for a better truck. Yeah, this isn't for me, and I certainly wouldn't recommend this to most people. Now, this has picked up some mud on its wheels, which has pretty much stopped it from working. There is zero power in that motor, and there doesn't appear to be enough power in that motor to shake it off. This hasn't really turned out very well. So there we go then, guys. Not a very good day for the Trasped Toyota 4Runner. And truthfully, I knew this was going to be terrible from the start, but of course I like to give everything a fair chance on my channel. But sometimes you really can't sugarcoat a turd. And this thing is very much a turd. Now, if you're into this sort of stuff, absolutely grab one because they're really cheap. But if you're just getting into the hobby, I would say don't go anywhere near this. Now, the best piece of advice I can give is steer clear of this and check out my top 10 cheap RC cars for 2024. There are some really good options in that video, and a lot of them are extremely affordable. If you have watched all the way through to this point, I really appreciate it, because I know I would have probably clicked away already. Cheers for watching, see you on the next one, take care.